Great to have you with us as we take a look at the Anteaters wearing the gold uniforms tonight. It's a team that has found their rhythm as of late. Young squad, chatting with their head coach, David Niffen. Although the Anteaters were swept on the road at BYU over the weekend. You know, BYU made it all the way to the national title match last year. David was very pleased with the efforts. Come back in the first night, got into a fifth set in Provo, but BYU prevailed. As for USC, outstanding start. We touched on the victory over Penn State in the Big Ten Pac-12 Challenge last weekend. Crosstown at Pauley Pavilion, which will be the site of the national championship this spring. USC's lone loss coming after the win over the Nittany Lions when they were defeated by number 10 Ohio State. These teams have been playing each other for a long time with many memorable matchups. Although due to COVID issues last year, they did not compete. In 2020, Irvine won the last time they took the floor in 4 sets. They won the last 2 head-to-head meetings. In fact, Anteaters have won 8 of the last 10. USC trying to change that tonight with the senior Brandon Browning at the service line. He paced the Trojans last year with 13 aces, looking for his first service winner this year with USC in the home black uniforms. As a hush comes over. The crowd here at Galen Center, and quickly the back row attack yields the kill for Cole Gillis, 6'5" sophomore from San Jose. A year ago, he was on the Big West freshman squad. Irvine has a smaller rotation than USC. Gillis was just off the mark, so point USC, and Browning looks to maintain that momentum, but unable to keep it going as the flag goes up, and that's a service error. For Irvine, notable change in the lineup tonight. David Niffen was optimistic that Patrick Borenkamp could get back on the floor as he has cleared concussion protocol. So he's going to be the initial setter, and we'll see plenty of Dylan Jai as well. Here's the player we started the broadcast alluding to. Heno has all sorts of power with that lefty serve, quick to the middle. And USC shining at net. Lucas Krasran coming all the way back from a period of injuries last year. Junior from Rockville, Maryland. Described by his head coach, Jeff Nygaard, one of the best we've ever seen in this sport, referring to Lucas as a high flyer. Well, I always wanted to do radio play-by-play of volleyball. I'm going to keep you updated on the score as well. It's Trojans on top of Anteaters now. 3-1 as that one is out of bounds. USC. The last 2 years with nearly 5 match victories already, equaling it to start this year. And chatting with Jeff Nygaard yesterday, just a delightful conversation. So pleased with how this team has come together. We'll talk more about what Simon Gallas had overcome on his way back to the program as he was effectively stranded in his home country of Germany and then came back in a major way with the 30 kills. There's Gallas on cue, but he is dug by Gillis. And they go to the pins. Cobrin is devastating. You know the name. Sam, the All-American at UCLA, coming across town to USC as a grad transfer, in part because of his educational ambitions. Getting a master's now in social entrepreneurship. It's USC atop 4 serving 1. Feels like an important sequence here for UCI, and they go to the direction of Heno, who's having a magnificent first year playing for the Anteaters, already picking up Defensive Player of the Week and Freshman of the Week honors in the Big West Conference. It is 2 serving 4, just getting started. Great to have you with us on this Wednesday night. Francesco Sani finds the floor for the ace. His 5th on the year. Sani leads the team in kills, points average, 2nd in the Big West in both categories as well. UCI draws within a point. It's a 3-4 deficit now they're trying to overcome, but they've got no answer for that. USC hopes to run the middle all night long. Liam Schrader at 6'8" has so much size to utilize. He had 5'11" in his 5 starts last year, Agoni 460 to start this year. 5 serving 3. As Chris Hall gets involved with his veteran leadership, this team relies on. Hall, the super senior from Sherman Oaks, led USC last year in assists. Conference leader this year as well, over 10 assists per set. USC doubling up. UC Irvine at the outset is 6 serving 3. Nice floater. Out to the pins. The double came, and Gillas had nowhere to go. USC flexing its defensive muscle. That was textbook as Gallas led the charge, and a quick timeout on the floor. USC looking good to start this match. A 7-3 advantage over UC Irvine here in Los Angeles. Only the results, because he said early in the season, results can be a bit choppy, but the work ethic, the camaraderie, the fact that everybody's back, including Simon Gallas, who had to spend last year in Germany, but was on top of his academics with taking his courses online and maintaining his GPA. And there's Gallas, deft touch. It's not all about power for the German, although with 30 kills to his credit against Penn State, that's what jumps out. But his head coach, Jeff Nygaard, had so many superlatives talking about what Simon was able to achieve on his own before being fully integrated back into the program. USC on top 8-3, serving the direction of UC Irvine as they go back to the pins. And that was a nice change of pace delivered by Cole Gillas. Coming off a season-high 10-kill, 10-dig outing against BYU. Irvine played well in defeat in that cauldron of a gym in Provo, when their head coach David Niffen reminded me that was the first time they played a match in front of a legitimate crowd since pre-COVID. We have a nice gathering here. USC modifying the attendance policy, no longer just friends and family, so 50% capacity allowed, and appreciate all the folks fighting through the traffic on a Wednesday night to watch the Trojans jump out to the early advantage. It is 9 serving 4, as you can plainly see. So much power at the disposal of Coburn, who piled up the accolades at UCLA. His brother still playing there. His dad played hoops for Larry Brown in the early 80s at Westwood. Here's Patrick Borenkamp. Mentioned that he's feeling much better after missing 4 matches in the concussion protocol. That one had eyes finding the floor as Gallas snuck it in just inside the end line. Not only did he have the 30 kills in that remarkable performance against Penn State, added 6 digs and 2 blocks. The hammer came that time from Schrader, but just too much tempo, and he'll come off as Cole Paxson, another super senior, returns. Libero, who sports one of the most regal mustaches in all of college volleyball. Gillas trying to carve into the lead, instead the service error. So it's been a touch of a wobbly start for UC Irvine, but you know about the heritage and all of the national championships. And David Niffen, coaching his alma mater, is committed to getting this program back to where they want to be. And at number 14 in the nation, early foundation to start this season. Quick, once more paying dividends. Razran with all of that athleticism, elevation, sensation off the floor. Once more, Trojans doubling up the Anteaters. 12-6, opening set. Nice dig by Power. Out to Heno. Gallas gives it a rip. Heno floated that one. to Browning with a blast, but too much tempo. That was long. Browning senior from Corona del Mar last year, number 2 on the roster. And kills, he at 266, right around that number at 240 coming into tonight's match. Short serve by Doug Dom. But the Trojans read it well. Sani gives it a big-time rip. Another point comes the direction of UC Irvine. Sani, sophomore from Maryland, member of the U.S. Collegiate Beach national team. Chatting with David Niffen, he expected him to make a massive jump forward, moving from his freshman to his sophomore season. Back outside, and that has been virtually automatic this year with the return of Simon Gallas, changing the entire dynamic of this offensive attack with USC's system. They are so hard to contain, and certainly don't have to belabor the point of what the addition of the All-American Sam Coburn means as well. 5-point USC lead. Browning is dug by Gillis. That's a violation against UCI, a point for USC, who started the year in outstanding fashion. Went on the road to UC Santa Barbara, outlasted the Gauchos in the season opener, then backed it up with a consecutive win. I'm Brian Weber. Great to have you with us for volleyball from downtown Los Angeles. That one not only had power, it had a little bit of a knuckleball feel if we actually see any baseball this year. Browning drops in the ace after he was looking for his first ace of the year coming in tonight. Trojans keep it going as they capitalize on this promising start at 15-8. Can Browning make it back-to-back aces? He's dug by Cole Power, out to the pins. Heno blasts that one. He has terrific power, but he's not one-dimensional, according to his head coach, David Niffen, who was very straightforward with the young player from France, saying, if you're coming to Irvine, academics are part of what we do. You know, UC Irvine, one of the finest public institutions in the nation. And Coach Niffen said that as Heno comes up with the service error, the left-hander from France is getting it done in the classroom as well, from a volleyball family. His father played pro volleyball in Europe. His mom was a member of the Albanian national team. Lucas Krasre. And a blast comes off the head of Heno. Bit of miscommunication there, as USC was clearly out of system. Connor Campbell tools that block. Campbell, the sophomore from San Diego, filling a void created by the departure of 2 middles for UC Irvine in the offseason. So it's Campbell and Doug Dom stepping up, making the move from the outside to the middle, giving this team a presence in the middle of the floor. Browning hanging tough as they get it to Coburn. Not much you can do when Cole Gillis has that much time to set himself, cock and fire. And it was all facilitated by Heno there, putting his body on the line to keep things going. Irvine now finding their rhythm in the middle of this initial set. From the back row, nothing doing for Sani. That pick was read and turned away by a steely USC defense. There was nowhere to go over the long arms of Liam Schrader. At 6'8", if he's on top of the play, the opposition has no chance. USC on top by 6 in this opening set. Almost the same play we saw on the prior point. Same result. USC showing they're not one-dimensional, although the offensive numbers have been terrific to start the year. USC coming into the match hitting .324. Opponents held to .233, and we're seeing their defensive prowess on display as well. Now, Irvine trying to make something out of nothing, and what do you know? Sani getting crafty there. Certainly not what David Niffen had drawn up, but sometimes when you got to improv, as we saw the mobility of Camp to get there, good things can happen. UCI going to their bench here is Alexandre Zakanda from Canada. He's getting back into the rotation, playing his first set of the year over the weekend at BYU. And here comes Irvine, reversing things now. After USC was so proficient on defense, there's Doug Dom, who volunteered to David Niffen, who was looking for help in the middle. And Doug said, I played a little middle in high school, growing up in Danville in the San Francisco Bay Area. Part of the team outlook that UC Irvine is so proud of. No egos, no stars. They believe in the total team effort, down 6. Now, Coburn has a rocket forward arm. Case in point, he sent Sani to the deck there. And the flag is down. Precision and power for Cole Gillas, who is making an early impact in this match. Gillas last year career 14 kills against UC San Diego. We'll see the Tritons here at USC next Wednesday, live on Pac-12 Network. Browning gets a swing, and he makes UC Irvine pay. Over the double and down. And potentially now USC at 5-1 can see the finish line. Here is Austin Stewart, one of a pair of true freshmen, along with Luke Hobus getting significant playing time to start the year. Stewart from Nat Beach and Costa High School, that volleyball powerhouse, all CIF honoree, and won a Division I title in the South Bay here in Los Angeles. And Stewart was instrumental with his serving in the high leverage moments of the victory over Santa Barbara on the road to start the year. It's 21 serving 14. Another defensive sequence yields another point for USC as Doug Dom had absolutely nowhere to go. It was all clogged up in the middle. Prazrand holding his ground. Now Stewart on a roll. 3 points away from finalizing in this first set. Back set for Gillas. Ball coming our way, and there goes my monitor. Good thing I'm only 6 feet away from the court. I was told that broadcasting was not a contact sport. I stopped playing any athletic competition in the late 1980s. More importantly, Sam is okay. You talk about commitment to your squad. We have seen strange things happen when players hit the table, and I'm glad Sam is okay. And yes, he is. Put a hurting on that ball. Back row, shining on the pick. Well, I could give you a litany of statistics, but this tells you all you need to know about one of the best players in the country, who is also a terrific student. One of the reasons I mentioned he chose USC was the prestigious Marshall School of Business. I hope he does better with his degree than I did with mine. Gallas too much, and that was long for the service error, but UC Irvine desperately needs to score here as USC now has a litany of set points. Prazrand puts it away, and it's a slew of set points for the home team, who has looked good in just about every phase of play. Browning already coming up with his first ace of the year in this set. Another one wraps up set number 1.
Here you go, boys.
And he Well, there's a reason why. Browning produced 13 aces last year. You're seeing the form that makes him so deadly from that service line. All USC in the first. Comprehensive approach. So it is UC Irvine looking to raise their intensity with Patrick Vorenkamp getting us underway in the second set. When I have an opportunity, I really want to spend a few moments on the special connection between the Vorenkamp family and Irvine volleyball. If you follow our sport, you're aware of it, but I can't do it justice on the fly. We'll get into the particulars, and it's coalescing with an upgrade in the facilities at the Bren Event Center. Details are coming up. Patrick, redshirt junior, injured last year, only 9 matches. He's moved around, played middle, now back to center. That was well defended by Heno, denying Cobrin. Heno once more leads out, as did Vorenkamp. Full extension on 2 occasions. Outside Cobrin as he knocked that one off to Gillis, and it went all the way to the front row. Cobrin, season and career high. 18 kills against UC Santa Barbara to start the year. Got his degree in Westwood in political science. Now working on his master's. And that one off the mark. Really didn't seem to have much of a chance for Prasrin as he played it short. He'll come off. Irvine opened the year with a couple COVID cancellations. Unfortunately, still something we're dealing with throughout all of college sports and all of our lives, clearly. They're feeding Cobrin, and it's working to start the second set. That was a wonderful serve. Beautiful service by Chris Hall, and he's been doing that for the entirety of his career, and now he's looking to show off his skills with the serve. It's been a lot of Cole Gillis to start this match, and it's been all from that spot. Coming in, we thought we would talk about primarily Francesco Sani and clearly Alir Heno, but Gillis has been more impactful. He now has 5 kills for Irvine. Nice adjustment by Browning as he had to hesitate in midair. Well, that's off the block as Gallas didn't have to go to the full amount of power that he can use. But given what he did against Penn State, it's clear he has a wonderful knack for finishing off rallies. 9-3 to start the second set. That one looked like it never had a chance. Might be on its way to what we used to call Staples Center. Now, the Crypt, just down Figueroa Street here in downtown Los Angeles. Quick word of instruction from David Niven off the bench. Was an assistant for 5 years before getting the head coaching opportunity. Well, that was well designed and well executed, and they got the benefit of the Irvine touch. Well worth another look. The back set out to Gallas, who is showing he's just going to be an absolute force throughout this entire season. USC thrilled. He's back on the active roster from Germany. That was too strong. Schrader had it in the vicinity, but couldn't get the trajectory to dip inside the end line. So much better beginning in the second set for Irvine after they dropped the opening set 25-16, and they trailed by large margins in the first. And that's going to be double contact. Browning took a rip on it, and the ball came directly back on top of him. And the defense had something to do about that, as Vorenkamp was there and he had plenty of support. Connor Campbell showing why he's already earned Conference Defensive Player of the Week honors early in this year. That's clean. That one dancing right on the line. Gallas, his 7th ace of the year. He had 3 in a match against the Stanford Cardinal, pulling off the hat trick. And so far, Gallas has been the most impactful UC Irvine player in the match. That is a legal play. Vorenkamp able to cross over and get there, but it's all for naught. Although credit his effort to keep the rally going. That was simply too easy. Felt like practice. Hall setting Frazre. Tied again at 6 to start the second set. Well, Simon Gallas has to be absolutely exuberant with the start to his season. Mixing in the ace after he came up with that unbelievable outing of 30 kills. I'll give you the only players to have better games in the rally scoring era for USC. Record set by Brooke Billings. He had 36 against Pacific in 2002. Irvine gets the point they need. Tied at 7 here in the second set. Connor Campbell plays it in. Had a bit of a funky bounce to it, but Gallas is undeterred. He is almost automatic coming from that angle off the pins. 7 kills. And what he did against Penn State, which I keep alluding to because the number is simply phenomenal, was not an outlier. That's what Gallas is capable of on a nightly basis. And he's got plenty. Touch. USC getting minor separation on the scoreboard, up by 2. Gallas plays it across. Effectively, that's a free ball. And that is the big run-to execution. It all started with Cole Paxson. We'll take another look as Libero set it tight to the net, then over to Hall, and then the back row is terminated by Browning. Timeout on the floor. Trojans up 3 and a set in LA. National championships as well, and I hate to dust off another bromide this early in the match, but there are no easy nights when you're playing teams within the conference or the Sterling competition from the Big West, and so many connections between the programs and the majority of these players growing up together in the high school ranks and playing on the beach. Certainly no secrets between these programs. Gallas. He's dug by Cole Power. Heno. That was cerebral volleyball. He saw the double come, and instead of trying to tool that block, just adjusted the delivery and found the floor. He's going to have a big-time career building on what he did in Europe, playing junior volleyball. That was a tough angle, and it is off the mark. There was not much latitude there for Coburn. We'll show you just how narrow that opportunity was, and unable to steer it in. Tie once more. It's 10-10 to start the second set. Vorenkamp, quality serve, and you had a feeling that Coburn wanted another swing in a hurry. He is just that locked in. Honorable mention All-American, first team All-Conference, crosstown at UCLA. Last year led the Bruins. And assistant Dick, remember, Coburn ran the offense for UCLA, came over here to USC. Chris Hall does that adroitly. So Sam went back outside, and we're seeing his versatility. A little bit out of system here. Nearly the hammer by Schrader. They'll play on back to Coburn outside. And that one dances on the line, and his teammates are loving it. Well, always fun to see what teams can do on the fly. Gallas played it up, saved nicely by Power, and the back set from Frasran allowed Coburn to put it away. But this set remains tight and competitive. With Paxson coming back on, led the conference last year in dig average, had 19 digs in a single game against Grand Canyon, flirting with the Trojan single match record. Coburn sends it across. Heno with a blast, and he had a lot of room to capitalize on. And Hillier wearing number 20, keeping that tradition of international players shining, wearing number 20 for UC Irvine. How about Tommy Hodges, the All-American, now playing for the Australian national team. But Sani, another outstanding player, unable to maintain that brief momentum with the service error. Trojans back on top by 1. There is Hall. Middle often is money, not that time. Gallas. Been a big match so far by Gillis, dug by Browning. Tight to the nets. Off the block and out. That's a point for UC Irvine. Anteaters have done a nice job of problem solving in this second set. They've been forced out of system a handful of times, but they have come up with the answers they have needed. Here's Doug Dum off the top of the tape. And there is an absolute bomb delivered by Schrader. We do not have the challenge system in play tonight, so it's old school. We're going to trust the judgment of our officials. Sid Church is up. Robin Burton is down. And candidly, I know the goal is to get it right. We certainly want valid results, but pace of play is much faster when we don't go to the monitor. And this one is off the hook once more. And it's put away by Coburn after he was so effective on the left side. Moving over to the right, same result. Hammer time for USC, and we're tied at 14. Coburn up to 7 kills now. He's got 8 aces this year. Big rip by Campbell. Gallas pushed it through, but it's going to be a net violation. It appeared. And that was a violation against USC. Jeff Nygaard would like the explanation from Robin Burton. And that's going to deliver the point to Irvine. As momentum swings back and forth, and the Anteaters now back on top by 1. Heno leads the team with 11 aces coming in. Short serve, dug by Paxson. Gallas able to turn up the tempo as he blasted that one off the block and it hit the antenna for good measure. USC leads the series all time, 40-34, but we mentioned it's been all Irvine as of late. Winning the last 2 and 8 of the last 10 matchups. Heno. That one was all Frasran. 6-6, and he got major hops off the floor. Look how high he was over the net. The athleticism and dexterity of these players is just remarkable. Undeterred by the nets. And last touched by USC. Well, we know that Irvine can come back from 2 sets down. They've done it twice to force a 5th set, but certainly don't want to deal with that kind of dilemma given how well USC is playing to start the year. Gillas having a big match so far. That was well defended by Sani, but they feed Gallas again. Heno, right down the middle, but too strong. That's long, and it's a point for USC. Now, if this was a boxing match, it'd be 10-9 on the cards, and you can see the scoring line in this set after USC was the superior team in the opening set, 25-16. Much different dynamic here. Gallas sent that one almost into the stands. Teams will match up again on Friday at the Brent Event Center in Irvine. David Iffin off the bench with some instructions for his team as the second set gets spicier. And there was not much Gallas could do there. Sani comes up with another kill. His head coach, David Iffin, had so many great things to say about Sani's determination and the will to become a better player. And after Akil Tegater had success in his last serve, couldn't back it up. Here is Brandon Browning. 12 kills last time out against Ohio State in that always entertaining Pac-12 Big Ten Challenge. And he is having a serving showcase. Was sitting on the Ziggy. No aces coming in. Had a couple aces in the first set. One more there to put the Trojans back in front. With a timeout on the floor. Ace number 3 for Browning. Puts USC in front of UC Irvine. 19-18, trying to move ahead 2 sets to none. Timeouts. With USC in front by 1. Browning looking to compound the damage. Waiting on the call, and our ump official Cincher says it was in. Off the block and in. As Dom tried to thread the needle, and you see Hall finger up saying, no, no, no. Shades of Dikembe Mutombo as we go old school. I don't know if these young men were even alive when Mutombo was controlling the paint in the NBA. There is an absolute bomb. Sani is almost undefendable when he has that level of time to get there. Member of the Big West all-freshman team a year ago. Piled up 24 kills, new career high against Stanford. It is a sport that rewards a thinking player's approach. And Hall showing off his high volleyball IQ, the super senior from Sherman Oaks. 68 starts in his career, better than 2,800 career assists. Used to be the captain, chatting with Jeff Nygaard, said this team felt better suited to have a group approach, more organic, so they have a leadership council, and everybody gets their say. That one was in, with not a lot of margin for error, but Heno is a sniper. We'll take another look, and there was plenty of daylight between the ball and the end line. So another kill for Heno. He's up to a half dozen, tied with Gillas for the Irvine lead. Sani hit it too hard, and that's a costly service error at this stage of the set and overall the match. USC serving now at 22-20. move ahead 2-0. Gallas off hands. They play it over to Coburn, and another point for USC. There were plenty of options there. Could have gone to Gallas. You see him on the left of your screen, but giving the variety of looks to UC Irvine on just about every sequence. Nygaard's team is coming up with a winning equation so far. 2 points away from moving ahead 2-0. Push that one long. Right idea. Just had a little bit too much on it. And now 4 more set points present themselves for USC on the brink of taking a 2-0 advantage over UC Irvine. It's Chris Hall trying to serve out the second set. And that's long as Henna was trying to keep UC Irvine alive. Better effort from the Anteaters in the second set after they dropped the opening set 25-16. But USC able to keep things going. 25-20 to take the second. Moving ahead 2-0 matched up with UC Irvine. Well, in terms of the particulars of this one, USC was absolutely sensational, hitting better than 500 for the majority of the first set and a half. Still a brilliant hitting percentage of .393. Irvine's warming up at 174, but now they got to get it done unless they're going to conjure up the effort that they have displayed on a handful of occasions. Most recently, last week, the road trip to BYU as they rally from 2 sets down to start the match against a team that made it all the way to the national final match last year. Ultimately lose 5 to get swept the following day. That is an explosion from Lucas Frazred. His coach calls him a high flyer, and Jeff Nygaard is delighted that Lucas is healthier. You go back to last year, he dealt with a variety of injuries. Different outlook when he is feeling good. Beto unable to tool that block. Quick to the middle, and it's Schrader who finds the floor. Part of all of that imposing size at net. Liam, the senior from Milwaukee, checks in at 6'8". Razrak had that one tailing away. Dug by Browning. Back over to Coburn. Sam Coburn makes difficult maneuvers look easy. Another player from Corona Del Mar High School. So many connections between that high school and both of these programs. It's an absolute juggernaut in our sport. And another point for USC as Coburn shows off his versatility with a nifty block. He's got postseason experience to lead on. Go back to 2018, the Bruins lost the NCAA final to Long Beach State. That was MPSF versus the Big West. Feels like Irvine could use a point here, and they go to Gillis, who has cooled down after the hot start. That one was errant, getting more separation on the scoreboard, and that'll draw the timeout from David Niffen, who senses what the scoreboard is reflecting. It's all USC going after a sweep of the Anteaters. So many achievements throughout the decades in our sport. And that one was out of sorts from the outset. Dylan Zai is back on the floor for UC Irvine, trying to hold things down at center. He spent the majority of the offseason working on his conditioning. He's got a lot more muscle to utilize, but couldn't get it done there. Although Lucas Frasran will hand the point directly back to UC Irvine, trying different combinations here. Akil Tagutar back on the floor. And watching Doug Dobb come up with the knuckleball approach on the serve. That one was not even in the vicinity. And unfortunately for UC Irvine, as Gillis was so good to start the match and now a bit wobbly here, feels like this set is slowly getting away from the ante. There's still plenty of time, though. You know how quickly things can change in rally scoring. Don't have to worry about side outs like a few years ago. If your opponent has issues serving, as Hall couldn't get across, that's a foundation for a comeback effort. Oxon, Zakanda will get another chance to make an impact. Played his first set this year over the weekend at BYU. That was a nifty serve. Coburn went over to Gallas, and that one hit the floor prior to Cole Power. The UCLA transfer, the junior from Huntington Beach, libero, just could not make up the ground he needed to. Lead now 5 at 8-3. Said that one blistering for Tagutar. What a save by Hall. It's for naught, but you certainly have to admire the effort as Chris gave it all he had to keep that rally alive, and somehow was able to keep USC in the play. What is a point for UC Irvine, down 4. Gillis, a jump serve. Dug by Browning. Back to Brandon. Gallus off the block and out. It's a point for USC. Have not seen many underclassmen. We did have the cameo from Austin Stewart, who is a terrific server. True freshman from Manhattan Beach, still waiting to see other freshmen. Kobus has been getting some run to start the year. And that swing by Tagutar is going to pick up a point for UC Irvine. 6'2", junior from Pacific Palisades here in the LA area. Played 29 sets last year, and a couple years ago was a member of the Big West All-Freshman team. Campbell has had a quiet game, although he's best known for his defense. Tough angle for Tagutar. And that was tic-tac-toe. Maybe just tic-tac. Efficient and lethal. Frasran put it away. USC on top by 5. It was the 8th kill for Frasran. Gallas got it across the tape, and we're seeing why Akil Tagutar has been getting more playing time as of late. His head coach, David Iffin, had great things to say about how hard Akil works in practice and maximizes his time on the floor. Irvine trying to mount a monumental comeback. It starts by winning this set to stay alive. Zion, the sophomore from Cupertino in the San Francisco Bay Area. He's got an ace this year, but couldn't get it across. Got more playing time when Patrick Borenkamp was unavailable, missing the last 4 matches due to being in the concussion protocol. Here's Browning, who has been magnificent with 3 aces tonight. That one tough to return as well. off the block and down for Sakanda. So Niffen going with different combinations. We've been tracking the Anteaters this year. There was a fairly established rotation early on, but more options deeper in the year. Daguitar with the service error. And USC now halfway home, completing a sweep of UC Irvine as these teams gear up to play again in less than 48 hours, Friday night on campus in Irvine. Kraz ran. Didn't hit that one too hard. But it's not all about velocity, especially when your opponent just can't line things up properly. It's been the microcosm of the match. Irvine handing a myriad points to the Trojans on hitting errors. Once more, way too much on that one off the hand of Sakanda. And USC potentially has grabbed this match by the throat, trying to raise their record to 6-1 to start the year. 14-7 lead in the third, going after a sweep. USC's been on a roll all night long, hitting .424 now, holding UC Irvine to a tepid 115. Part of a outstanding heritage on campus in our sport. 4 NCAA championships, 8-time runner-ups, 21 Olympians, 34 first-team All-Americans, 7 National Players of the Year. That's an accolade that head coach Jeff Nygaard won a couple times at UCLA. USC has high expectations every season so far. They're measuring up to where this program wants to be to start the year, but they also have a great deal of respect for what Irvine can do in a hurry. So this match is far from done. Nice dig by Doug Dodd. They'll play it outside to Gillis. He's dug by Browning, nearly a joust, but Campbell couldn't put it away. And outside to Sakanda. He's got the kill. And Alexandre is the pronunciation in French, because he's from Canada, is earning himself more playing time, presumably moving forward, irrespective of the outcome of this match. Cobrin off the block and out. And Sam once more in double figures in kills. 11 at last check. You can put him down every time he's on the floor, it seems, for at least 10. Reminder, the season high of 18, achieved against UC Santa Barbara, also his career high. And that's the form that Gillis had early in the match when he was almost unstoppable. And an offensive lifeline, as we've not seen too much out of Francesco Sani, kill leader for this team. Eno has played well for UCI. Sani with the 5 kills. Gillis just picked up his 8th to lead the Irvine attack. Another blast from Gallas, and he flashes a bit of a smile there. It has been an absolutely sensational start to the year for the sophomore from Buell, Germany, for the German national team. He joins Cobrin with the kill lead for USC, each 11 kills. That one really never had a chance for UCI. Terrific adjustment by Cobrin. You can see the high arc on the short serve. Powered it all he could to get there. But you can tell he an ace for Samp, who had 8 coming in, tried the hammer there. So a glimmer of hope here in the third for UC Irvine, trying to put together a ferocious comeback. avoid falling to 3 and 4. And picking up their third consecutive loss. They have not won on the road this season. Only 3 prior to tonight. Browning gets it down. Browning, we have highlighted what he's been doing as a server. And I beg your pardon, that's a point for Irvine. 3 kills for Brandon. Didn't get that one. In addition to the 3 aces. Gallas with a strong serve. Long run by Paxson. He'll play it over to Browning for the free ball. Here's a chance for Irvine. And they can't capitalize on it. You saw Sakanda hit the antenna. Just unable to align things properly. That error will give USC the 6-point advantage once again. Stewart tried to replicate what he did towards the end of the match at UC Santa Barbara opening weekend when he was absolutely sensational with his serve. USC just piled up the points with the freshman. So we go from a freshman conversation to the grad transfer. Have a night, Sam Coburn. My goodness. He is a wonderful athlete to watch. And what an asset for USC to have as they hope to get back to the NCAA tournament. They pick up another point on the hitting error by UC Irvine. 5 points away from the sweep. Stewart's got the hot hand. Member of the 2021 USA Volleyball U19 national training team for a couple of years. For Rockstar Volleyball Club at Beach. Came up with the dig of Taguitar. Into the net. Browning commits the violation. And you'll get a great look here as the double came. Good side, just 6'1", but you got proof of why his head coach David Niven calls him fearless at the net. Nowhere to go. Taguitar turned away. Gallas showing off his skills as a two-way player. He had support from Frazred, but the German with the rejection. And USC now 4 points away from a sweep. Good serve by Gallas. Nice dig by Coburn. Browning is done by Power. They play it outside. It will come in my direction. This is more movement I've had in the last 5 years as Taguitar on a swing there. Here's side. Last year, member of the Big West All freshman team. You can see with that upper body definition all the time he spent in the weight room, and maybe that was a curl too many as he gets along for the service error. But Ty's gonna have better nights. Watching him play on the UC Irvine webcast, he has refined his game. Coaching staff very pleased with the improvement he's already showing to start year number 2. Browning with 3 aces. USC 3 points away from the sweep. And they're just going to get a donation there into the net. The goal against UC Irvine in a giving mood. And now potentially the opportunity for Browning to serve out the victory. Coburn tried the floater there, played up by Power. Taguitar gets another point for UC Irvine. Handily. Beyond my conversation with David Niffen, just going off the stat sheet, Akil only played the single set last week on the road at BYU, but Coach Niffen said, be mindful of what Nikhil can do, and we're seeing full evidence of that small sample size, and that gets his teammates fired up. That's an ace with degree of difficulty. Gonna leave a tattoo on the body of Coburn. Irvine trying to hang tough on the road at USC from the back row. Browning. The free ball coming the Trojans' way. Setting out to the pins. Coburn's got another kill and a slew of match points for USC. 13 kills for Sam Coburn. He's hitting .545. USC hitting .390 as a team, trying to seal the sweep here. They're going to have to work a bit harder. Second match point for USC. It's up to Doug Dom. Outstanding students, excelling in mechanical engineering, one of the programs that Irvine is renowned for. Off the block and out, another kill for Coburn, a fitting conclusion to a comprehensive effort by USC. Another look at the closing sequence as the graduate transfer. Sam Coburn picks up his 14th and final kill, hitting .565 tonight. Simon Gallas chimed in with 11 kills. Lucas Frasrand had 8 for UC Irvine. Nobody got to double figures. They were led in the kill category by Cole Gillis. Halir Hedo, their outstanding freshman, came up with 7. Bit of a quiet effort for another terrific player, and Francesco Sani only had 5 kills tonight. So USC keeps it going. They raised their record to 6-1, the number 10 ranked team in the nation. Picks up the victory over UC Irvine, and they do it with a definitive sweep. Anteaters fall to 3-4. They're winless on the road at 0-4, but happy to be heading back home to the Brent Event Center on Friday night, looking for payback against USC as these teams will match up once more. It's a comprehensive win for USC. They pull off the sweep for a hardworking and talented production team. I'm Brian Weber. So long from downtown Los Angeles.